Hey guys, this is Sean from BleepinJeep.com. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the passenger side turn signal socket. Now over time these go bad and the lights dim, so this will fix that problem. Because of how bright it is today, it's going to be hard to tell, but this is the driver's side turn signal. I just did the socket swap on recently. This was so dim you couldn't even see it even at night. Whereas the passenger side, I did not do the swap on. You can see it's considerably dimmer. Now what you'll need for today's project is a soldering iron. Solder, lead solder is what I'm using for electrical connections. Wire clippers for splicing and cutting the wires. Electrical tape so you can waterproof your work after you're done. A Phillips head screwdriver to remove the parts of the Jeep. Eye protection, it's always good to have, especially when working with exposed wires and hot things that can splatter, especially when it's lead. Not good. Hand protection, protects your hands from the heat somewhat. These are thin gloves, but I always prefer wearing them over nothing, and they protect your hands a little bit against the sharp edges of the wires, the exposed wires. And of course the part that we're putting on the Jeep today. It's part number 1157 from Advanced Auto Parts. This part will not work on later model Cherokees, the 97 and up models. This is only for 96 and before, I believe beginning in 84. That's when the first Cherokee came out. Alright, the first thing you want to do is remove the two screws holding the marker light on. Now, you'll use your Phillips head screwdriver for this. And somewhere along the line, I lost the bottom screw. So that just makes my job easier today. And what you want to do is with the wiring harness in the back, twist lefty-loosey, pull up. Should just slide right off. The next two screws you want to remove are here and here, also a Phillips head. Just want to take those out without having them fall on you. Don't want to lose them. If you haven't taken this off in a long time, or ever, it may be a little difficult to break these screws loose. And you just lift up from the bottom, pull down, and it slides right off. Next up, you want to take the actual turn signal lens off. There are two screws, one there and one there. Same thing. If you haven't taken them off in a while, it may be a little difficult. There we go. Then it should just kind of pull out, and then you have a wiring harness right here. Lefty-loosey, pull out, it comes right off. Now, so you don't break it, just go ahead and pop the light bulb out right now. Don't want to whack it with the screwdriver and have it shatter. Now what you want to do is take the socket and identify the three wires in the back. What you want to do is leave as much of the original harness as possible so you have room to splice the wires without having to reach your hand way back in there. Just go ahead and take your wire cutters, cut it right at the connector. There you go, it comes right off. And you can probably see the corrosion in there, which is why the light isn't working as well as it should be. Over 26 years, that tends to happen with these. So, definitely time to replace it. What I'm going to do now is try and get in here and strip the wires, so I have room to solder the new harness in, or the new socket rather. This is kind of hard to do with tight space like this. Try not to pull on the old harness too much. There's not much holding it in there. Now normally you would disconnect your battery for electrical work, but I did not because this is a pretty minor electrical work. But still, you don't want to get these wires to touch each other as best as you can. So what I usually do is twist them, prevent them from fraying, bend them up and away so they don't touch each other. though honestly with a turn signal I don't think that'll really matter too much. There we go. They're all stripped and ready to go. Ready to solder. So now we'll take our new socket, go ahead and open it up. Take the rubber band off, hold all the wires on, unravel it, make absolute certain that these wires will match up with that. Unfortunately, color coding doesn't work too well here, but what I can do is take the old socket, match these colors, and put them in the same order. You also want to go ahead and strip the new wires on the new socket. Alright, the next step will be to find a non-flammable metal plate or some kind of protection so the solder doesn't drip anywhere. I'm just going to use this old license plate. Then you want to identify the wires. This one I know is the grounding wire, so go ahead and make a hook in it. And the same with the new socket's wire. Go ahead. This may not be the proper way to do it. I'm definitely no expert, but I believe it works just fine for me. And now you'll take your soldering iron, or in this case I'm taking a torch because my iron just broke and I don't have a replacement right now. So go ahead and turn on that gas. Take your solder, place it on the wire. See if I can do this where I can get it on camera. It's gonna take a little bit of practice. I haven't done this with a torch yet. Somehow I don't think it's meant to be done with a torch. It's a little too much heat for it actually. And there you go. The two wires are soldered together. I'll let those cool down before I wrap them with electrical tape. Alright, once they're cool, remove your drip tray. Take your electrical tape and just start wrapping each wire. This will be enough to keep water and dirt out of the electrical connection. Make sure it doesn't contact any other metal. And there we go. Not the prettiest electrical job in the world, but it definitely gets the job done. Now as you can see, I already put the light bulb in. I'm going to go pull the headlight switch and see if it turns on. That looks good to me, quite a bit brighter. Alright, time to put it all back together. Alright, as you can see, it's considerably brighter. I have another problem. A while back, look how dim that is. Looks like I'll have to try it again. Maybe a higher quality socket, maybe a new light bulb. I'll look into that a little bit more later. But this project definitely works. It's worth doing. Alright guys, now you know why it's so important to keep up with old electrical connections. Replace them when you can and they won't give you any trouble. Don't forget to subscribe to BleepinJeep. Go to his website, BleepinJeep.com. Thanks for watching.